Hi everyone, my name is Michael Ozaki, and this is Three Questions, a time when we invite normal members of our community to come and sit with us and share their lives in what we call contemplative conversations. This week, we sit down with DeeAnn Wylie, a woman who grew up in a very different place in which she was oftentimes the other. And it is fascinating and beautiful to see how that has informed her faith and how she deals with issues of justice and question and tension in this time right now. I hope you are blessed by what she has to share, and may you hear God's still small voice as you listen with ears of grace and openness.
Together, we'll be lost in the dark, walking on water, falling in faith. You and I will change, but the blood is still the same.
I am uncomfortable right now because I have no idea what I'm going to say for 1 minute. I am tired, exhausted, frustrated, peaceful, a little bit uncomfortable. Wondering where this is going. Sort of glad I came. Not quite sure yet, but we'll see. Glad to be in a room with more than one person. Glad that it's a nice day. I am calm, surprisingly, and interested in what we're going to do, and curious about the questions, and wondering how I'm going to answer them. And
that's time.
I would guess that being born in Thailand probably is pretty significant. My parents were missionaries. I lived there during the Vietnam War and would hear very different stories about the Vietnam War than what Americans were hearing, because we were on the other side of the world. Also, I think it really formed how I view faith, how I view worship, how I view God, because there were very few Christians in Thailand, and so any Christian would gather together. And we went to one Christian church, and it wasn't like a denomination, it was all the denominations. So I never knew that churches were, in my early age, that churches were separated by theology or doctrine. And so that confused me a lot about how Christians in America, when I came to America, I was 8, very strange. I suppose that would be another significant thing, because nobody told me about the Pledge of Allegiance, and everybody stood up and did this weird thing, and I had no idea what they were doing. And then they started singing these crazy songs about country, and in Thailand, everybody stood up for the national anthem, and a picture of the king would go on, and I was like looking for the king when we did all this stuff. But I think it really colored how I look at people. I felt very unusual, because when people asked me where I was from, I'd say Bangkok, Thailand, and they would look at me like, I don't even know where that is. And then on top of that, my name wasn't a normal name, so I was like DeeAnn from Bangkok, Thailand.
You and I will change. You and I will change, but the blood is still the same. Showering the saints. Everything will break. Everything will break. If it's fire, if it's rain.
of chaos, this season of disaster, of hell. So I guess right now I'm focusing a lot on just being present and knowing that God is got this and got me. He has me. And something you said in a devotional, I think at Lenten, about this is too much for me. You take it for a while. I like that a lot, and I've been giving him a lot to hold for a while.
Do you have any sense of how you might be being invited or led by God right now?
Probably not any more than usual. I think on a daily basis, I work with preschoolers, and I usually look, and that was one thing my dad used to say, is that look through Jesus' eyes at other people, and how would Jesus look at someone. And so pretty often I spend time focusing on God and how I can impact, or how I can see someone, like a kid that is really frustrating or something, going that, God created this person too. So I have to remember that and it's easier for me to do with little kids than it is for me to do with grown-ups, because I don't expect a lot from little kids. I expect a lot more from grown-ups.
Yeah.
So it's probably harder for me to see other people through Jesus' eyes, who are adults doing things that I don't think are responsible. So kids, I can give them the benefit of the doubt. And it's a teaching moment. So and I guess that's what I have started to do with adults too, is use it as a teaching moment for them. Try not to use my preschool voice with them though.
I still need you, Father. Trusting in this great unknown. I still need you, Mother. Comfort me until we're home. I still need you, sister. Tell the truth and dare to dream.
Maybe what are we supposed to be learning right now? Because then if we learn it, maybe it'll stop.
Do you have any sense of what that might be?
Oh yeah, being nice to each other, caring about community, doing pretty much what Jesus asked us to do, but apparently we're having a hard time doing it. So I think the frustrating part is that when I'm doing it, my family's doing it, my friends are doing it, but then it doesn't help unless everybody's doing it. So, and it should have a ripple effect. But in this particular situation in our country right now, I don't see the ripple effect yet. It may be coming. I don't know. Maybe I'm supposed to learn how to help people be more community-minded. I don't know how to do that, because it's common sense. It's obvious. Read the Bible. Listen to the sermons. Look at what Jesus did.
Yeah.
It's all laid out there. So I try to meet them where they are. Maybe most people who resist community are hurt some way. So find out what made them think the way they think and work from there.
What is your main prayer right now for yourself and for the world?
For myself, to be healthy, to be the hands and heart of Christ, and to show show how to be in community.
What do you mean when you say be in community?
Well, thinking of how my actions impact others, how what I do, if I make a decision, if I don't think about how that's going to affect other people in my family, in my neighborhood, in my church, in my work, then I don't think that's being in community. But if I see, if I do something and I think more about how what I do impacts other people.
I think it's interesting. I think most people, when they think of being in the community, they think of being physically around other people. But it sounds like for you, being in community is just thinking about how everything you do is in connection with everyone else, even if they're not physically near.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's like there's a spiritual community that exists, right? That we all exist in.
We're all connected.
Yeah.
The mean, ugly people and the wonderful, beautiful people like me.
Maybe in an age of extreme individualism, maybe that's one of the things we're waking up to, right?
Yeah.
We're in community whether we like it or not.
Right.
Yeah. We're waking up to that, not just in terms of the virus, right? In terms of Black Lives Matter.
Yeah.
Right? How we as white communities have affected all these other communities, right? How racism is more than just how I behave.
And I think for me, coming to America as my face is white, I look white, but my story is completely different and not fitting in. But still, so having an inkling of how people who've been marginalized, who don't fit into the culture as it is, feel, I still have the benefit of the color of my skin, so I don't really understand, but I think it's always made me hyper aware of interacting with others. And if we listen to each other, even if we have different stories, then I think we see a bigger picture of God, because I think God is reflected in all the people, all the religions, all the races. And if we listen, we'll have a better understanding of what God is, who God is, because God doesn't fit into this church, Protestant, Catholic, Buddhist, Muslim. God is in all of us, in all of our minds, in all of our hearts.
Is there anything else that you would like to share?
Wear a mask.
And lastly, in a few words, summarize what you've heard during this time.
Well, I heard your questions. I heard myself say things I was surprised about that,
Like what?
I sounded more together than I think I really am. Well, I don't have it figured out. It's not even close. So sometimes growing up in a church and living around church people, missionaries, people who are seeking how a faith-based life should be, pretty much all my life until I got out of college. So how that really does impact growing up and how I look at things now.
Well, DeeAnn, thank you very, very much.
You're welcome.
Really appreciate it.
Father, sister, brother, I believe we need each other.
All I'm thinking of is, oh, I was working out in the garden. You didn't take a picture of my feet, did you?
No, I should have, though.
Good.
I remember when you did that.
Go ahead.
When was the last time I've been there?